Welcome to the Podketeers podcast, episode 207. This week, VJ Melissa and I talk about all the dining venues now serving alcohol at Walt Disney World, plus if we think that bringing back experiences like Electronica or Mad Tea Party would be a good idea. Plus, we talk about an article that ranked the Disney princesses in what they called most worthless to most powerful. Yeah, we didn't agree with that either, at least how that was phrased, but we give our own take on the article with our own rankings, plus we give our opinion on who should be crowned the next official Disney princess. More info and our list can be found over at podketeers.com/207. And if you would like to join the conversation regarding this or any of the things that we talk about, leave a comment on Facebook, Instagram, or on Twitter. Just search for Podketeers and let us know what you guys think. Plus, you can find us on YouTube. We're at youtube.com/Podketeers and youtube.com/Disney42. Head on over, check out our videos, and if you haven't yet done so, we'd love it if you took a moment to subscribe, and be sure to ring that little bell icon for alerts when new videos are posted. If you shop on Amazon, we have a great way for you to help out the podcast. The next time that you order something or need to order something, head on over to podketeers.com/Amazon. On that page, you're going to find a really large Amazon button that when you click on it, will take you to Amazon just like you were going to go anyway, but doing this first gives us a small commission from your next purchase as a thank you from Amazon because we mentioned them on the podcast and you went through our link. Like I said, it's a great way to support the podcast with a few extra clicks, and to everyone that's doing that, thank you so much for your contribution. Plus, this episode of Podketeers is made possible by the generosity of listeners just like you. We call those listeners our podcast Fairy Godparents, but they've called themselves the FGP Squad. If you would like to become a Fairy Godparent of our podcast, you can find out more information by going to podketeers.com/FGP. You can give as little or as much as you want monthly, but if you sign up for a contribution of at least $5 per month, you will also get the exclusive Fairy Godparent button as a thank you for your support. Any of our Fairy Godparents have access to exclusive content via Patreon, and we will be posting more stuff on there soon. So to all of our podcast Fairy Godparents, thank you very much for your support. Finally, if you're new to the podcast, thank you very much for listening. We appreciate you taking the time to hang with us. If you're looking for our personal links, check out podketeers.com/team. Or if you want to know a little bit more about us, check out episode 190, where we officially introduce our new team. So here we go. This is episode 207 of Podketeers. This is our podcast. We're a group of friends that loves Disney, technology, art, food, and more. This is Podketeers. So, is your sports game done, VJ? Are we good to go now?
Yes, the Warriors won in overtime.
Now, is that the home team you were rooting for, like go team go style?
No, that's the team you want to root for.
Right
The
now?
Warriors?
Yeah, I don't like LeBron.
How can you not like LeBron? You know what?
Nope.
I'm not a big LeBron fan, but I mean, you can't. He's a beast. You have to watch.
Like he's blue and stuff? Like he's an X-Men?
Yep, he could hang upside down, and he's a mutant.
I have a soft spot for Beast, sorry.
Or he hangs out with Belle and Gaston?
Maybe. He sings really well at Hollywood Theater, too.
Interesting.
There's a Netflix documentary called The Game. I just watched it when I was driving back from San Francisco. Don't worry, the 5 is just straight. There's cruise control, watch some Netflix.
So while you were in the passenger seat driving home, you were watching this documentary, right?
Oh, no, my Tesla drives itself.
Oh, got it. Remember, assisted mode, not autopilot.
Right. Chameleon eyes, one on the TV.
That's
one on the
right.
road.
That's right, Pascal.
But it's a good documentary because it follows him from high school and his teammates and how they're still best friends and everything. So you should watch it. I got a little bit more respect for him, but yeah, he's not my favorite basketball player, but he's great, you know. He just scored 50 points and they still lost.
How do you think LeBron's popularity compares to Kobe's popularity, and how people like spit that hate at each of them? Like, who do you think did more for the game and still was more hated?
Oh, Jordan, for sure.
He
Jordan
wasn't even
got-
in the question, but okay.
But I'm just saying, like, Jordan is the one that changed the game. But if you watch Kobe's game versus Michael's, there's actually a cool video on YouTube. I have to send it to you, where it starts off with Michael dribbling and he's slashing to the hoop, and then it just like juxtaposes into Kobe and he's doing the exact same move. And it's not just one or two plays, it's like a whole 5-minute video of all these plays, like everywhere. From the elbow, from the 3-pointer, from it's crazy. He like copied everything.
So he essentially
Okay,
learned
I want to
from
see
him.
that.
What's that?
Huh?
Oh no,
He essentially learned from him.
he gained everything from Jordan, from the way he
Oh, yeah.
looks at basketball games, the way he just like he's competitive versus everybody. The one thing I don't like about basketball now is
it's
everybody's
fixed.
buddy.
Oh, I thought that you were going to say that it's fixed, like boxing.
No, everybody's like buddy, like, hey, we just beat you in the finals, but hey, let's go to, the club, get some VIP bottles and pop them and blah, blah, blah. But,
Pop the champagne together. Nice. Hey, man, the champagne is the participation trophy.
don't even get me started on that. I do not like how kids these days get participation trophies or, it's like,
Yeah.
and there's no competitive spirit in sports from kids. It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
here you go. I just stood in right field and was on my phone and I still get a trophy. That's nice.
Lynette is really big on board games, and I don't like board games. There's very few that I can sit down and actually play, but the kids like to play with her, so they'll pick board game, they'll play for a little while, and especially our youngest, we're trying to teach him how to be a gracious loser, because otherwise he'll just throw a tantrum. It's like, you always win, I never win. It's like, dude, you get better, you keep practicing. That's how
That's what practice
you
is
have to
for.
learn from it. You need to keep playing. And so I think the lesson of, learn to be a gracious loser, learn from your mistakes, move forward, is one that I'm really trying to push onto each of them. And
Right.
sometimes people look at me like, you're being too hard on your kids. It's like, no, they need to
No.
learn these lessons so that they can survive in
Yeah.
the real world later.
Exactly. If they get participation, like, oh, here you go, here's this little star sticker just for coming out. I mean,
Yeah.
no one's ever going to advance. I don't think you're ever going to get those Steve Jobs, like, oh, you're telling me
Yeah.
I can't do it? I'll show you,
Well, that's the thing. I mean, think of years from now. If they were out for a job and there was a bunch of kids going out for the same job, like let's say straight out of high school, they're getting some intern position or whatever, they're going to go with the people that want it more, that know more, that are really competitive for the spot. They're not going to say like, well, you weren't as good as this other guy, but here's this other job position just for showing up, buddy.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. They're going to pay the guy that's better at what they're hiring for. And so if they're 2 years old, 3 years old, you start weaning them into that competitive spirit. But yeah, it's one value that I want to make sure that my kids learn and that we're trying to teach them. I know when Lynette plays with them, it's something she really tries to hammer into them. Like, you don't always win. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. But if you don't win, you're last.
That's after Lynette going, oh, in your face, it burns, doesn't it? The truth hurts.
Yeah, that's more me.
Winner, loser.
I'm just
Mom,
waiting
being
for the
so
day.
mean.
I'm waiting for the day where I'm gonna start showing them like Talladega Nights and everything, and have my kids team up on me. It's like, yeah, shake and bake, and start beating Dad.
I'm going to be all over you like a spider monkey. He's hopped up on Mountain Dew.
Dude, speaking of being hopped up on Mountain Dew, are you guys having anything to drink right now?
Water.
Water.
This podcast is brought to you by Kirkland Signature Purified Water.
Hashtag not really a sponsor. I don't know why, but all day I've just been craving a beer. and my brother had brought me this Firestone beer that has some like mocha and chocolate notes in it.
Ooh.
And it was delicious when I first had it. And I was looking through the fridge and I saw that I have one more can left. And I saw it this morning. And all day it's been in my head. And I kept thinking, well, maybe when we start recording. And I got home, haven't eaten dinner yet. And I thought, well, I guess I'll just wait until after, because then I can have it with my dinner. And then I can just relax after. So let's get this going, guys, because I wants me my beer. Let's do this. Part of the reason I was bringing it up was because, I don't know if you guys saw, but Walt Disney World now is offering alcoholic drinks pretty much at every single restaurant on the resort.
Finally.
Yeah. Is this a good thing, BJ? Like, you guys go pretty often. I mean, we see it here at California Adventure. How big of a deal is it, and is it a game changer for people that are visiting the parks, or is it just going to raise the amount of people that raise a ruckus in the parks?
I don't think it would be that much of an issue, because what they just added the final last 3 restaurants that weren't serving alcohol, and it's just beer and wine, correct?
Right.
So beer and wine's not that. I mean, unless you're a lightweight who just, I just sniffed the Pinot Noir and now I'm just so wasted. No, I don't think you get that. Because the only park I really care about is Disneyland. As long as it's just Club 33 and you can't drink, anywhere else besides Club 33, then cool. If you want to drink, go to Downtown Disney or go across to California Adventure. But I don't.
Right.
I think it's more, the problems are more of the like mad tea party type parties, when they really can't regulate on, oh, hey, you could get to alcoholic beverages with your wristband and your ID. Okay, cool, thank you. Pass to a underage person, and then all of a sudden, everybody starts drinking, and then it's harder to supervise that,
Yeah.
because they're all moving around, dancing, and then, yeah, but I don't think it's a big issue for the parks, if people, and I think it goes on to the cast member when they're serving alcohol, and if they have to make the executive decision, like, okay, I think my customer or guest had a little bit too much,
Yeah.
maybe they're lightweights, maybe they mixed it with medication or whatever the case is, but they should have a good rule of like, oh, okay, probably shouldn't serve them their 5th beer or
Right.
whatever, So to me, if the cast members are doing the job, then it shouldn't be a big deal. That's to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's more money in Disney's pocket, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to point out what you had said, and we talked about this earlier about Club 33, how they're finally going to open that in Florida, but you could get beer anywhere. So it's not like Disneyland where that's the only place you could get it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird that they're going to do that. They're going to allow that. If it's just beer and wine, okay, fine. But if it's mixed alcohol drinks, that may be a little bit of a problem if they ever step to that, in that way.
Do you guys think that Walt Disney World is regulated a little more loosely than Disneyland is when it comes to things like this? Primarily because it's more of a destination for
Right.
family vacations than Disneyland?
I would agree with that.
It's more touristy, that's for sure. It doesn't cater to locals. So maybe for those who are visiting, I mean, they want to make the best out of their experience. So that I could understand why.
Yeah. When I think of the reason, I mean, other than more money, like you said, VJ, I think a lot of it has to do with proximity, right? Because if you think of Disneyland proper and how far away it is from California Adventure, you're a hop, skip, and a jump from getting an alcoholic beverage at what will now be, what's the Cove Bar going to be called now? The Lamplight
Pixar
Lounge?
Lamplight Lounge.
Yeah.
The Lamplight, yeah. So at any point, or even in downtown Disney, right?
Or
The proximity, or Carthay, the proximity of the venues where you can get an alcoholic beverage before you walk back into Disneyland is minutes away, where heading from Magic Kingdom to Disney Springs or Epcot or Animal Kingdom, I mean, it's more than just a few steps and a few minutes away, right? Because you got to
Right.
take a ferry, you got to drive, you got to do all these things just to get to the next park. So it makes sense that they would want to do this because not everybody can go to the other parks. Going back to what you talked about with like Mad Tea Party and stuff like that, I know when we thought of our concept days, you had mentioned something like, oh, Disney date night or prom night or something like that, where we all dress up over 21. Do you think they would ever want to do like a Mad Tea Party again, but regulate it to over 21, like in stage 19 or in the back? Or do you think that it's too family friendly club style that they want all ages to enjoy something like that?
It'd be cool if there was a club 21 and over, but I don't see how that would work even at DCA.
I will say this. There was no Mad Tea issues when Electronica was happening. We didn't have people doing all that stuff. You didn't have that. You
Right.
had your club scene. It was clean. You got your alcohol, whatever. You danced. I never felt an issue. Like when they had Mad Tea, I didn't like the atmosphere because it became like this
Rave.
club gathering where
Yeah.
everyone was gathering by, this certain corner. And I kind of felt uncomfortable. Like I
No,
didn't
it
want to be
was.
there.
It was. It almost felt like a turf war at that point. But then it
Yeah, I didn't
also,
like that.
to me, at that point, social media was getting bigger, I should
Yeah.
say. And during Electronica, I don't think there was that many annual pass holders at that time, too.
Yeah.
So I think when annual pass holders, there was more coming in, and then with social clubs, and then because, last year when I was here at Electronica, this is a cool place to hang out, and they have the live bands, then they have those groupies for the live bands, and then
Yeah, they do.
I think it's just one thing after another, and it became such a problem. Like, I avoided Mad Tea, except for the last day. And then, I was like, I just want to see it one last time. And we were hanging out in a corner where it was just watching the bands, and just seeing the characters. But yeah, there was too many people who thought it was the quote unquote cool thing, and that's
Yeah.
all they did was just Mad Tea. Like, all right.
But I think it became that cool thing to do because of what we just said, right? The age
Right.
restriction was a huge thing because most clubs won't let you in until you're 21. And for Mad T, you had the club environment, but you didn't have to be 21. You could be any age and
Right.
enjoy it. Plus, they had alcohol, so it catered to all the ages. Just like Electronica, like you said, Mel, it didn't seem to have those problems for everything that you guys just said. No social media, stuff like that. And it wasn't the cool thing to do, right? By the time that Mad T came around, like even your parents could hang out with you. And with Electronica, it was still kind of on the DL where like kids could go without their parents and they're like, oh, what's that loud music? Like, eh. But by the time Mad T came around, they were playing some of those older songs to cater to the older demographic
people, yeah.
that they knew, right? All these songs that a younger audience wouldn't necessarily know, but they liked the whole band scene and, the fact that they were there watching a band live. So, yeah, it would be interesting to see them do something like that again because, I mean, quite honestly, I enjoyed both of them. I didn't hang around there for the entire set. I think there was only 2 times where I ever actually hung out at Mad T. Once was because I was trying to get video, and the second time was because I was trying to get photos. Oh, 3 times, sorry, because there was one time during when they were doing the Frozen thing where they had like the ice falling and everything.
Freeze the Night?
When Freeze the Night, yeah, when Wendy was
Yeah.
spinning as the White Rabbit, I would go just to get pictures of all of that. So there was 3 times that I remember where I know I have photos and video of that. But what do you think a theme would be if they did that? Like a good theme would be like Electronic was great, Mad T. What do you think would fit the bill?
What movies are coming out? Yeah, that's aha, Pixar Fest.
You know what? Let's ask the listeners. I think they can come up with
Yeah.
something good. So if you guys could replicate an Electronica or Mad Tea Party like scene at California Adventure, what would you theme it as?
Okay, so I would like to see, I just came up to my head, but a Wreck-It Ralph type of thing. So it's like
Wreck-It
you're
Ralph would be
in
great. That's a good one.
the computer world or something like. I just want Electronica back. I just want
the light cycle. That's all I want.
Please. It was the greatest thing. Style, atmosphere. It was perfect.
Yeah.
They could always bring it to Tomorrowland. And I'm sure Gavin would agree.
I liked how in Electronica they used all of Hollywood land, not just the
Yeah.
backlot area.
Yeah.
So,
Did you ever get to see when they had like the blue laser popping in and out at certain times
Oh,
throughout the whole street?
I think so. Yeah, and it went just completely down, right?
Yeah.
I think the first time I was like, "What the heck is going on?" When the frisbee people were throwing the disc. I
Yeah.
was like, "Whoa, that's crazy!"
Yeah.
And they actually hired professional frisbee people. Like that is pretty insane.
That's cool.
I'm all,
You know what?
that's-
Let's just bring that back. I'm just
telling
gonna
you.
agree with you, Mel. Let's just bring back.
It was awesome.
Flynn's
Electronica.
Arcade, everything.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can bring Flynn's Arcade back into Interventions because once Galaxy's Edge opens, they're pushing all the Star Wars stuff out there. At least that's what we're hoping for. And you just make Tomorrowland Wally and Tron themed, the whole thing.
Wally and Tron.
For
Yeah,
real.
we'll make it work. They'll make it work. We could look. It's all
It'll
about the
fit
synergy, right?
perfectly.
And just make it a one drink per ID. I think would alleviate so much for security.
Yeah, I think if they do it in Disneyland, I don't think it would have alcoholic drinks. I feel that outside of Club 33, Disneyland will stay pure like that. I don't think they'll serve
that's
alcohol.
fine.
Yeah.
Just give me the atmosphere.
And that's
Yeah.
what Walt wanted, right?
Sure. I mean,
But
Walt
didn't he
enjoyed
want-
a good alcoholic beverage.
No,
now
but
and
he
then.
wanted it to be a dry theme park, right?
I'm really hoping they don't have anything in Galaxy's Edge. Like, other than Blue
I don't
Milk.
think that's going to happen.
Yeah. So,
No.
we shall see. So, I want to jump into a couple of other things. But first of all, I want to read a listener comment from episode 202. If you guys remember, back in 202, we were discussing whether or not, like, Shuri was a superhero, what kind of that was our debate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so listener Chris left a comment on the website, and it reads, I vote that Shuri is definitely a superhero. She is canonically super intelligent, supposedly smarter than even Tony Stark. She helps fight for her country in the final Black Panther battle, and she's a Disney princess. Shh, let me have that fantasy. Also, having a movie is not a good qualification as being a superhero. See Scarlet Witch, Black Panther, when we first met him, Vision, Black Widow, Hawkeye, etc. Just try to convince me Okoye is not a superhero. Her power, super done with everyone. Top 3 heroes, Loki, a tie between Agent Carter and Doctor Strange, and 3, a tie between Okoye and Agent Coulson. So,
Yeah.
first of all, Chris, thank you very much for leaving those comments on the website. We appreciate you taking the time to do that. And I think that's kind of where we landed, right? That Shuri is definitely a superhero. I think, VJ, are you
Yeah.
still the only one that disagrees with that?
I guess so.
I mean, she
Fine,
made some
fine.
good points, right? Like Black
That's
Widow.
fine. She doesn't have a movie, and yeah, Black Widow doesn't have a movie yet. Hawkeye, I mean, come on, that's like me and you shooting bow and arrows just really well.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah,
But-
kinda, right?
Yeah, she's smarter than Tony, supposedly. Has all the tech and everything, but she didn't really battle. Yeah, she shot lasers, pew pew, out of her little bracelets, but I don't know. She was behind in the car, not really, while driving, but she hasn't really gone to battle in my eyes. Black Widow, everybody she said, yes, they've gotten punched in the face. Shuri has not.
I don't know.
She
dude.
fell down
the
First of all,
steps.
I don't think she had
But-
bracelets.
We
don't
I'm
even-
pretty sure she had like those Thundercats Lion-O claw shield things. Like that's what she was shooting that energy from. Like all she needed was the Eye of Thundera.
I was gonna say if she had
Like-
the Eye of Thundera, then cool, whatever,
I was going to say Black Panther wouldn't have been able to get where he was in that car scene if she weren't to be driving it.
Have you seen him run in Civil War? I'm pretty sure
We're
he is
talking
just
about
as
the
fast
movie.
as the Audis. So,
But it also it was
Yeah,
all the
it
tech
didn't
that came
happen
from her
in
though.
his movie. She did it for him.
she's like an upgraded version of Ned, the man behind the
No.
computer.
No. Because Ned is more of a sidekick,
I
and
know.
there is nothing sidekick about Shuri.
Well,
Exactly.
we'll see in the next Avengers or in the next
True.
Black Panther.
True.
Until she puts on a suit, until she like takes that flower and takes away the Black Panther strength and everything. I mean, she's just like Tony Stark, but I want her to really be in a battle.
I think
Battle
we're gonna
in
see that.
she was hiding behind stuff. Like, I really want her to get punched in the face to really be like, hey, I earned my
Like, I
stars
earned
and
my
stripes.
stripes,
Like, yeah,
right?
like, dude, I just fought that big. I just fought the Hulk. Something like she was like,
Didn't she get knocked down by Killmonger?
Yeah, she did. She did get smacked by Killmonger.
Yes, she did.
But
Twice.
did she get back up?
She did.
So
I don't know. I have to watch the movie again. I don't remember that part.
Oh man, good point. Good point.
Real battle. I want a real battle. I
The
want
Battle
a
of
want
Wakanda
blood.
was real.
And then we don't even know if she survived. So she didn't go online and take that. Did Thanos kill me?
Oh, I know. I wish she would have and posted it on her social media, because then we'd know if she was okay for Avengers 4 and Black Panther 2 when it comes out. So anyway, Chris, again, thank you very much. If you guys have any comments on anything that we talk about in any of the episodes, you can leave us a comment in the blog post for each of those episodes on Facebook or on Instagram. You can even shoot us a message on Twitter or send an email to comments@podketeers.com. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And speaking of which, we are planning on doing a Q&A episode of Podketeers. So if there's any questions that you guys want to ask regarding the parks or, tips for certain things, like you're going on your first trip, whatever it is, send us your questions. We're going to start to collect those, and we're going to start putting that episode together soon. Any of the methods, like I said, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, the website, email, whatever you want. Smoke signals, if that helps you.
Pigeons.
Telepathically, homing pigeons. I mean, if you have your own head wig, that's cool. It's up to you. But however you want to get us the message. If you see us in the parks, ask us the question, and we'll make note of it, and we'll make sure to have it for the next episode.
I will say this though. I think Shuri. I believe Shuri is a Disney princess though.
So I'm glad that you brought that up. There was an article in Screen Rant not too long ago that was, and I think it was worded a little harshly, but the article essentially ranked the Disney princesses from most powerful to worthless. And I think the phrasing, I wouldn't necessarily say that they're worthless. That's maybe a little mean-spirited, but when it comes to like battles and stuff like that, obviously some are going to be more equipped than the others, right? And so when Screen Rant put their list together, it was a little interesting because, for starters, Disney only officially recognizes 11 characters as part of the official Disney princess line. If you guys don't know, the official Disney princesses, in order of kind of how they came to be, from the classic era, we have Snow White, Cinderella, and Aurora. And then from the Renaissance, we have Ariel, Belle, Jasmine, Pocahontas, and Mulan. And then from the modern era, we have Tiana, Rapunzel, and Merida. In the Screen Rant article, they incorporated some additional characters that aren't part of that lineup. For instance, Anna, Vanellope von Schweetz, Ailonghui. Is that how you say it? I always mess up her name. Ailonghui?
You know what? I'm not sure either.
I think when she introduces herself, she says, I'm Ailonghui. So I'm almost positive that's how you say it. Correct me. I don't know. I mean, if this is going to turn into that whole Calliope thing, then let it. But I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. They also incorporate Kida, Moana, Elsa, which is weird because she's a queen. But more importantly, in anticipation of the Fox deal, they also incorporated Anastasia. Their ranking from, I guess, from lack of a better term, what do they call it? Most useless? Worthless. To most, powerful was in the 18th spot, Aurora, Snow White, Cinderella, Ariel, Pocahontas, Anna, Vanellope, Jasmine, Ailongwe, Belle, Anastasia, Tiana, Kita, Moana, Elsa, Merida, Rapunzel, and Mulan. So that's their ranking. They call Mulan the most powerful princess in the Disney stable. We thought it would be fun to do our own ranking and then kind of see where we land in our top 3. Mel, do you want to get us kicked off on this subject?
Sure. You want me to tell you my top?
Why don't you read off your 11, and then we'll talk about your top 3.
Starting with number 11.
Yeah, let's go backwards.
With 11,
yeah.
Which hurts because she's my favorite princess, and I did agree, Aurora. She's the bottom. So she's 11. 10 is Snow White. 9 is Ariel. 8 is Cinderella. 7 is Belle. 6 is Jasmine. And then you have Pocahontas, Merida, Rapunzel, Tiana, and Mulan.
Oh, interesting. My list is very different. VJ, do you want to read your list next?
Yeah. Number 11, because she's sleeping on the job always, is Aurora. Snow White is number 10. Cinderella, number 9. Number 8 is Belle. Pocahontas at number 7. 6, I have Tiana. 5, I have Rapunzel. 4, I have Ariel. Number 3 is Jasmine. Number 2 is Merida. And number 1 is Mulan.
Interesting. So my list from 11 to 1 are Aurora. I think we all agreed on that one. And I think we all agreed on Snow White.
Poor girl.
Yeah.
So I have Aurora, Snow White, Cinderella, Pocahontas, Ariel, Belle, Tiana, Jasmine, Rapunzel, Merida, and Mulan. So my top 6, I think our top 6 in general are drastically different.
Yeah.
So Mel, let's start with you. Why did you put your top 3 in those spots?
Well, these 3 have proven that they could do something without a fairy godmother or a prince, and they've done it by themselves. Mulan is my first pick because she saves China, and she cross-dressed. She didn't care. She went after whatever she wanted to do to protect her dad, and she ended up saving everybody. That's awesome. Tiana was number 2 because she's what a lot of us are. I related to her because as a maker, you have to hustle every day to reach what you want to reach. And that's her thing. She has been working every day. She saves all her pennies, to get that restaurant. And Rapunzel, I love Rapunzel. She's number 3 because she could do everything. And she's got magical hair. But she could paint, she could sing, she could, you name it. She could probably do every hobby possible without any assistance. I mean, that's awesome. And then she decides on herself, I'm going to leave this place. Forget my mom. And then she fights her back. That's awesome. So to me, those are the 3 that I could relate to that I thought were my top 3.
VJ, where was Punzi for you?
She was 5th.
She was 5th. She was my number 3 as well. Why did you put her so low?
I mean,
I guess she's the halfway point, right? That's not low. But...
Yeah, I mean, it's top 5. Well, that's good. Like Mel said, she has all those attributes. But I don't know, the 4 ahead of her, I thought, because I have Ariel and Merida and Mulan. And I kind of ranked them on, like, the villains they had to take on. Not just, like her mom, which I mean, a lot of people could say, "Oh, my stepmom was quite the villain," but
She's quite the
um,
witch.
but yeah, that's how I based it. I was just like your number one. She fought for China, like Mulan, you know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that's why Rapunzel went to fifth for me. Like I did see it was kind of a battle with like five, four, and three, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Rapunzel got fifth for me.
Interesting. Yeah, I put Rapunzel in the number three spot primarily because, to me, even though she was locked up in the tower, like you said, she knew how to do a lot of things. But it's so odd to me that Rapunzel seems to be a little more street smart than somebody that's actually on the street. And I
Mm-hmm.
struggled with this slot because Jasmine is my number four, right? But I think Jasmine is super street smart, which is why I put her so high. You know, she kind of saw through Jafar. She kind of knew, like, well, this dude kind of looks like Aladdin, this Prince Ali guy. You know what I mean? So,
Do you trust me?
yeah. Oh, all of a sudden, oh my God, the eyes are opened. So that's interesting. Yeah, and Tiana, I totally understand the whole hustle thing, right? I think all of us as creatives, no matter what we're doing with music or with art or, what we're doing here with the podcast, there is a whole hustle aspect to it, right? And so I think as creatives, we can all really relate to her. I put Tiana in my number five spot.
That's interesting.
When I ranked them, I looked at them from the standpoint of how much did they really have to do in the movie to get what they wanted. It wasn't about the villain that they faced, but more about how much did they really have to do. And I know that some people might argue with me on that one, but that's kind of how I ranked them. VJ, your top three, again, remind us who they are and then why you placed them in those spots.
So Jasmine was my number three, because she is street smart. She has a freaking tiger. So if you can, like, come on, man, you have a tiger.
And if anything,
And
she can default to doing magic tricks.
and under pressure when Aladdin was battling Jafar, like she played along. She knew what was going on, because when she had to kiss Jafar, like try to act
Ugh.
all, like she wasn't doing this. Like even Aladdin was like, ugh,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
oh, yeah, she's helping us out. Forgot, like she went above and beyond to
Yeah.
like help Aladdin. So that's why she was number three. And to battle Jafar. I mean, Jafar is one of the baddest villains in Disney, in my eyes. Number two, I had Merida, just because she kind of has that same thing that Rapunzel had to go through with the whole, pleasing her mother, and having to. I mean, she wanted to free herself. She wanted to fight for her own hand, and being a better archer than Hawkeye, in my opinion. And more like, dude,
And makes
that's
more
a
appearances than Hawkeye.
but battling Mordu, like, oh wow, that Mordu's scary. I was like, I wouldn't go in there. Nope, not me.
Yeah.
She was able to face her fear and go in, and Mulan was number one because she's the best cosplayer. Just kidding. But yeah, fighting for China, and I mean, she has a dragon too. I mean, that's a cool sidekick. But yeah, just everything she had to go through from her character arc in that movie. I mean, you couldn't. I don't know who could top Mulan as the baddest Disney princess or the
Yeah.
coolest or most like everything. Like she she would beat Shuri in my eyes as far as a hero.
In real life. I mean, dude, she's got swords.
Exactly.
With
Well, you have all that tech, but
Well, if they had to fight in real life and you had to put the weapons down, Mulan would totally win,
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
right? She's had the battle experience, she had the training that the rest of the army had. So in regular battle, Mulan would totally whip Shuri. I think people would agree with that. Yeah, that's a good top three, man. It's a good top three. So mine, very similar to the two of you. So my number three is Rapunzel. the only reason I ended up putting Rapunzel in 3 instead of Jasmine, why Jasmine became 4, is because I feel that even though Jasmine had the security of the palace gates, she was very aware of the outside world, and she kind of understood that there was, poorer people on the outside of the castle walls. So she kind of saw that when she snuck out of the palace, and she would kind of walk the marketplace and stuff. So she already had an understanding of, like, stuff goes down here, right? Like, I need to be careful. I need to conceal that I'm a princess. So she kind of gained that street smarts from going out of the castle. Rapunzel, on the other hand, kind of gained all of that on instinct, I feel like, because to grab a frying pan and start hitting and start convincing all these people in the pub, like, you don't learn to do that unless you have a really good instinct for something like that. And especially having been trapped in the tower for so long, there's no way that she could have gained those skills just from arguing or talking to her mom. You know what I mean? So
Right.
Yeah.
that was primarily the reason why I put Punzi above Jasmine. Merida, I gave her the number 2 spot because for me, a hero isn't just a person that like wins a battle, right? But it's a person that does the right thing for the right reasons. And yes, I understand that it was her wish that turned her mom into the bear and everything, but Merida went on a quest to essentially save her mom. She went to correct a mistake that she did. She went out for redemption, right? And I think part of being a hero is going on that redemption journey to make sure that you right any wrongs and you learn from your mistakes. And that's why I gave Merida the number 2 spot.
Yeah.
Mulan, pretty much exactly for the same reasons that you guys mentioned. I mean, she saved the country. We can't stop saying that enough. She saved a country, right? And she did it under the circumstances that she was seen as one of the weakest. She wasn't seen like she was going to be, much of a fighter. She proved everybody wrong. And she did it not only by fighting, but by outsmarting everybody else that she was fighting against. So Mulan, just, you guys are completely correct. She deserves that top spot for that and much more. The other princesses, they fell, short. I think we all had different reasons. Like, let me ask you guys a question. Where did you guys land on, let's choose my favorite Disney princess, just for the sake of argument. Mel, where did you put Belle?
She's on number 6.
Number 6? And what about you, BJ? Where did you put Belle?
She ranked in at number 8 for me.
Okay. I ranked her at 6 too. Why was she so low for you, VJ?
I don't know. Like, I mean, it was a toss-up with so many different things, For Belle, she was book smart. She just kind of, I don't know. It was weird for me to rank her at so low because to me, she just read all the time. And she kind of fell in love with the Beast so easily. I love Belle, but I don't think her character arc was so great in the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, at least. And that's why I was like, oh, okay, she had to be told, like, be our guest. And, like, hey, this is this. And it took her a long time just to finally realize, like, the Beast actually loved her, when she's like, okay, I'm going to go to my dad later. Never came back, and then had to be like, oh, the Beast is in trouble. Now I'll go back. I don't know. That's why her whole character arc was just okay for me with this list, I should say, from being like to Mulan, so, like comparing her to Mulan, like Mulan had to go through a lot of character development and everything to be at number 1. And for Belle, she's just like, oh, okay. I felt like everybody kind of pushed her in that direction.
Interesting. Okay. Mel, why'd you put her in number 6?
I put her in number 6 because I want to say there was a reason that each princess before her, like Mulan had so many reasons, and then the next person had this many reasons, and then so forth.
Oh, okay.
She was actually lower on my list, and then I kind of started thinking, okay, what did this person do that's different than what this person did? And eventually she climbed up, but my top 5 are kind of hard to move around. So she just got the 6th spot from there.
Oh, got it. I put Belle in the number 6 spot primarily over Ariel because Ariel's my number 7, right? But people will argue like, oh, well, Ursula was a much worse villain than the Beast was because really the villain was Gaston and blah, blah, blah. But the reason I put Belle over Ariel was because of selfishness. Like, Ariel got herself in that situation because she wanted to leave the ocean, right? She put herself in that situation. Yep. Belle basically said, let my father go, take me instead. So she basically stared the Beast in the face and said, bring it, right? Let my dad go. And because of that, I felt that she was selfless and she deserved a higher spot. Now, everyone else,
that's a good reason.
Just like you said, everybody else was kind of process of elimination. Like, how much did they influence? Like, who did they fight and everything? So it was tough to do the other ones. But that's the reason why. Like, honestly, I would have put Pocahontas way lower. Like, you talk to a tree, right? I get it. you got to do what you got to do.
It's nature.
but, like Cinderella, she was so low for me because, I mean, she really didn't do anything. She needed her fairy godmother. I mean, Lynette's going to hate me for saying this because that's her favorite movie. But she needed her fairy godmother to get her out of that situation, right? Snow White.
Yep.
Snow White, I almost wanted to put higher on the list only because she knew other stuff to do. Like, she was able to take care of herself. Like, she was able to cook. She was able to clean. And even though she wasn't in her home, she kind of was able to make do with the fact, like, hey, let me sleep here. I'll cook and clean for you guys. Like, I will hook you up. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's a tough list.
I was going to say, it's funny you mention it like that because I have Cinderella on 8 and I have Ariel at 9.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why'd you put her so low?
Ariel, because on a whim, she just decided, I'm going to do this for a guy. That she doesn't know. And
no.
I'm just kidding.
Huh?
A lot of them did.
Like Meredith did.
Yeah.
No,
but
not
Ariel
the top ones, but I'm just saying, like, the classic ones, like Aurora. Oh, I know you. Once Upon a Dream. Oh, okay, I'm in love.
Well, look where Aurora is on all our lists,
all our
though.
lists, but I'm just saying, like, Ariel, to me, Ariel, because she's 4th, and I was kind of biased because she is my favorite princess. But she owned up to her mistake. Like, she, at the last thing with Ursula, you know, she had to go and fight a battle in the ocean, you know, and she lost her love with Eric. And then she's like, at least I got to love, you know, just for a little bit. And then Triton was like, hey, here's some legs, you know. But she was ready to, you know, sacrifice herself for Eric, you know.
And dude, I just remembered that scene. How much I'm going to miss her.
Yeah, but she, like, when she saw what was happening, she couldn't fight there and then. Like, when she had seen Vanessa
right
at Eric's side, you know, go fight for your guy if you wanted to, you know, be with him.
I know,
but no, she just ran away and started crying. Oh, okay.
I mean, to me, it could have been like, hey, you could have just wrote your name out for Eric. Like, you were able to sign
the weird thing. Like, you give up your voice for these legs. Like, you're giving up so much. Like, the one thing that was supposed to make you the most special because you love this guy. But then you see him with this other woman. You're like, okay, I'm just going to stand around. I'm not going to do anything. I mean,
but how many girls and how many guys actually do that in this day and age?
Not me.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, maybe you're exception to the rule. But I know so many people that will cry over some dude or girl. And I'm like, did you actually talk to them and make sure that, hey, I am dating that person? No, I saw it on their social media. Okay. Fast forward.
Changed their status.
No, that was his cousin. Oh, my bad. And then they let out a text and then, you know, like, oh, I can't believe you did this to me. And anyway, I watch too much reality TV.
So,
sorry.
What exactly did you say? You know, the most obvious thing, smiley face emoji, hand, two people kissing.
So the reason why Cinderella is just one step higher than Ariel is because at least she takes so much from everybody, but she works through it. She keeps going. Yes, she has her fairy godmother, but at least she keeps going at it.
Yeah. It's a
Are we
story of
talking-
perseverance, right?
Are we talking about live action Cinderella or animation
No,
Cinderella?
animated.
Oh no,
Animated.
animation.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Interesting. Well, I would love to hear what everybody else's rankings are. If you guys have a ranking for the original Disney princesses, or the 11 that Disney officially recognizes as Disney princesses, leave us a comment or shoot us a message. We'd love to see how you guys kind of rank them. And if you want to send us a message and tell us why you rank them, that would be cool to hear. We could share it in an upcoming episode. On the same topic, the Screen Rant article included a handful of non-official Disney princesses and one queen for some weird reason. We wanted to share who should be the next Disney princess, because Disney has officially reached the point, at least for now, where they're not really adding any more princesses to the official princess line. And you could argue why, whether it's a marketing thing, whether, who knows why they decided to stop there. But there are several people that we feel should be next in line to be crowned officially a Disney princess. Mel, let's start with you. Who are the 3 that you think should be official Disney princesses, and why?
All right, so my top 3, Moana, Elena of Avalor, and Cusco. I'm just kidding.
I was like, what?
I was like, that's an interesting choice that you would...
No, actually, my 3rd would actually be Anna.
Really?
Interesting.
She's a cash cow, so why not?
Interesting. Okay.
How was she a cash?
Well, before we get into that full discussion, VJ, what were your top 3?
Sorry, that threw me for a loop. I would say Megra would be number 3. Shuri would be number 2. And I was going to say Princess Leia, but I was like, nah, Moana. Moana's my number 1.
Okay. My 3 would be, and this is from 3 to 1. It's Shuri, Elena, and Moana. Okay, so back to this cash cow comment. You laughed at it, VJ, but honestly, I think that's the reason why she's not a Disney princess.
Really?
Because
Yeah.
she's not a cash cow?
No, because she is a cash cow along with Elsa. Think about it.
So you have to have them together?
Yeah, they come as a package,
Oh,
right?
I didn't
Because
think
the
about
entire
that.
film was about being sisters, the sisterhood, and how it strengthened their bond. It wasn't about a man like it has been in the other Disney movies. It was about the love of family. If you separate Anna into the princess line, she falls into the background of the other Disney princesses that came before her. So she wouldn't be at the front of the line anymore with Elsa. She'd be in the line with Cinderella, who is arguably the most recognized Disney princess in the entire line, aside from Snow White, Ariel. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I honestly think that because she's a cash cow along with her sister, that's why she's not a Disney princess.
That's a good theory.
That does make sense. I'm just surprised that I couldn't figure out why she wasn't a part of it, because how big they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that I say they, duh, it makes sense.
Elsa, quite honestly, because she's a queen. It's in the name. She's Queen Elsa.
Yeah.
She's not Princess Elsa. She's a queen. I know I'm getting a little riled up, but that's why. She's a no-go. She's a queen already. You can't be a Disney princess if you're a queen.
Or can she be the only Disney queen? And then the rest are princesses?
Yeah, okay. Minnie's gonna be like, really?
Right.
That's my crown, lady.
Oh, it's Queen
So-
Minnie. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, I'm sure she would argue for that. Who was your number 2, VJ?
Shuri.
Oh, Shuri. Okay, because I think Mel and I both had Elena as our number 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Elena.
Elena was going to be one of mine. I was thinking about her. I'm like, dude, she has jaguars that fly, so...
I know. And it's as close as we're going to get to Coco with the alebrijes. So
Yes.
I think for me, I don't know if this was the case for you. There was two things that really put Elena and Moana at the top for me. One of them had to do with the fact that Elena's the first Hispanic princess. Also, that Moana is the first Polynesian princess.
Yep.
But the reason I put Moana over Elena was because she fought Te
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, she
Yeah.
went up against the elements and won. Fighting people is one thing, but when you're fighting Mother Nature, you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
And then she also went against her dad's wishes, just like Mulan did.
Yeah.
And what did she do? She ended up saving the island and everybody and their livelihood and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that she's not a Disney princess because the story is so similar to Mulan's?
No, I think
No.
she will become a Disney princess. I mean, look at
Yeah.
Pocahontas. She's a chief's daughter also, and she's a
Uh-huh.
princess.
Yeah.
Mulan's not a princess technically either.
Yeah. I mean, they're the only two. I mean, there's only, like 4 that really came from a royal bloodline. Like, the other ones either married into royalty or are just claimed to be Disney princesses, like Pocahontas and Mulan, right? Because they were kind of granted that status because of what they did. But Moana falls into the same category as Mulan. Like you said, she's just the chief's daughter. But I mean, she did so much. She's so BA. I mean, she did so much. She fought an island.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can't not be at
And
the
you know
top of
what?
the list.
She didn't end up with a guy at the end.
Right. Right.
She had her chicken, which is awesome.
Who she had to babysit.
True. But you could also say the fact that she had to kind of babysit Maui through the whole thing, too.
Yes.
So, I mean,
Also.
Yep.
so there's that. You had Shuri higher up, and I had Shuri as my number 3. Why'd you pick Shuri for that top spot?
For me? Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
No, Moana was number 1 for me.
Oh, no,
Shuri-
for your number 2 spot. Like that,
Shuri?
into that spot, yeah.
I mean, because like everybody else, I'm not, just to put it out there, I'm not a Shuri hater. I love Shuri. I think she's very cool. She's smarter than Tony. She has all the cool tech and everything. But, I mean, she's an actual princess of Wakanda. So, and she's with Disney.
Yeah.
She's cool.
What do you guys think of the argument that people make for, let's say, Princess Leia, Shuri, Anastasia? Do you think they'll ever be considered real Disney princesses, or because they weren't creations of the actual Disney company, they'll be kind of honorable mentions?
I honestly think Leia's on a whole different pedestal. I think the love for her and even the merch is like way up here. While you have the princesses, but I think Leia's way up here. Sherry, I would love to see that. And who did you just mention?
Anastasia.
Anastasia. Okay. This is the one I'm kind of like, eh. Until everything's finalized with Fox, I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon that she's a princess.
Mm-hmm.
Once that's finalized, I'm pretty sure they may do something. But I don't know how they would just throw her in the...
Yeah, it's
Step
really
princesses.
strange, right?
Yeah.
It's really strange.
It's kind of weird.
BJ, what do you think?
I don't think they would ever be princesses. I mean, it'd be cool. I mean, Shuri would be because she's Disney and she's a princess. But with the whole, like Mel was saying, with the whole Fox deal, don't know about that. With Princess Leia, she's in a galaxy far, far away, right? Like, yeah,
That was perfect.
She's untouchable, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, because if we were really going to be saying something, I would say Giselle is the one that really should be, because she is Disney, but she's live action. That's the only thing that throws it off, is just the live action.
I mean, she's temporarily
Yeah.
animated.
Yeah, but for the most part, I mean, okay, fine. Then why isn't she considered a Disney princess?
You wanna know a trivia fact about that?
What?
Yeah.
So Giselle was actually originally going to be a Disney princess. Like, Disney officially
Really?
considered it because, they were going to add her to the line. But then they had this idea that thought, oh wait, if we make Giselle a Disney princess, we have to continue paying Amy Adams royalties for that. So based on the
Really?
fact that they didn't want to keep paying Amy Adams
Oh.
is why they never made Giselle a princess.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm surprised she didn't start a
Wow.
petition.
Everything that I've read regarding why Giselle's not a princess leads to that same. I mean, if I'm wrong, please somebody let me know if you guys have other information. But as far as I know, everything that I've read about that says that essentially Disney didn't want to pay Amy Adams royalties.
Really? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy, right?
They would have to, really, if they made her like Giselle, wouldn't the character, but just because she plays that character?
Because she plays a character. Because she's a live action princess. She's not animated.
So
And
couldn't we say
maybe
that's the same
Shuri-
reason for everybody else, like Princess Leia and Shuri and everybody else were saying that's live action? Besides like
Maybe.
Moana?
If that's the case, right? Again, this is just what I've read so far, and
Because,
I've
you know,
taken
it's
it.
on the internet. So it
That's
must be
why I'm
true.
taking it as fact. It is it is written in stone because it's on the internet. I read it. It was on Reddit. Okay, that's how I know it's real. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Because when you think about all the Disney princesses, we remember them and we honor them in the state that we last saw them, right? Mulan, we kind of honor as a fighter, as this. Basically a beast in battle. That's what she is, right? Everyone else kind of the same as well, but Princess Leia is now General Organa. And who are we going to honor? Are we honoring Princess Leia or the last instance that we saw of Princess Leia? Are we honoring General Organa? And in that case, she's not a Disney princess anymore. She's a general. You know what I mean?
Right.
She's not a princess anymore. Like, she graduated long before that. And then Shuri is kind of on the same boat, right? Because we don't know what's going to happen in Avengers 4. We don't know what's going to happen in Black Panther 2. She might be Queen of Wakanda by that time. Right?
Which
so
is
she's
still
no longer
awesome.
a princess, which would be awesome, but she wouldn't be a princess anymore. So
Yeah.
it's just so weird. Like the storyline, like Elena is maybe the only one on my list, I think, other than Moana, that, I mean, she's got the title. They made a big deal out of, hey, meet the newest prince. But you know what's crazy? In all of the marketing, they made it a point never to say, meet the newest Disney princess. They always said it, meet Disney's newest princess, Elena of Avalor. Just those couple of changes in the way that they phrased it never labeled her a Disney princess. They labeled her Disney's newest princess. So I don't know. I know it tripped me out too. So I don't know if eventually she will be one, but because she doesn't have a movie, it's the whole superhero conversation again, right?
Right.
She's a cartoon, just regular animated series, but I mean, what's her impact been? I think that's what they would ask next. Like, what has the impact been? So,
Well, she's in Viva Navidad, and she's a face character.
but it's DCA. It's not California event. I mean, it's not Disneyland.
I know, but she fits in DCA,
Yeah, she does. She does.
so why not?
But I could totally see her at the Princess Fantasy Fair too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she's very regal. She's very poised. I could totally see her in the Princess Fantasy Fair.
I would love to see her there.
Yeah.
I mean, let's add. Why not?
Can we talk about Megara, though?
She ain't a princess.
She is a princess.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is. You know, she's the daughter of a king.
Yeah, technically she is.
She's the daughter of King Creon, I believe it was. I don't know. I love Megara. Like, she's...
No, she's awesome. She is. She's. Gosh, Disney needs a line of all the other females that do awesome stuff that aren't princesses.
But it's funny to me because hers is more like real life, because
Yeah.
she lost the love of her life, sold her soul to Hades to bring him back to life. He comes
You're
back,
right, yeah.
leaves her, and then she's like, nope, not trusting a guy anymore. And then until Hercules comes around, I'm like, man, she's like that's real life,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is a daughter of a king, and she's just like her personality. She's quick-witted. I don't know. She's BA to me. I wish she was a Disney princess. But anyway, I was just gonna throw that out there because we didn't talk about her.
No, that's good. Yeah, because she didn't make my list at all. Mel's reaction just kind of sums up how I want to say how I felt about her, but I guess really what I should say is how I didn't feel about her, because I didn't see her as a Disney princess either. Mainly because I haven't really connected with that movie, and I haven't really
You're not
seen
a
it in such a
Hercules
long
fan?
time. Not to the extent that other people are like Zero to Hero and like singing
Like
the
the
songs all
muses?
over the place. No, I love the muses. I love the music from that film, but I've probably heard the music from that film 10 times over than I've seen the movie.
Okay.
Like I enjoy the music way more than I enjoyed the movie. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. I love her
Not that-
character arc in that movie too. I was like, wow, she's actually gone through a lot, and
Yeah.
you don't really hear that in the background of a Disney or princesses in movies, like she actually
Yeah.
lost the love of her life, and it was like, okay,
Yeah.
he's back and he's gone.
I did have a honorable mention. I have so much love for Kita from Atlantis.
Yeah.
Because her story is very, very similar to Pocahontas. Pocahontas meets, I want to say, not Mulan, maybe Moana. I mean, to the point where she sacrificed herself to save everybody in that final, like, towards the end. I mean, I think she's really cool
Yeah.
for being a 100-year-old lady.
Yeah. Plus, Atlantis is such an underrated film. So good.
It is.
Love it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That and Treasure Planet, I feel, don't get the credit they deserve.
I've never seen the
You
movie.
should go do that. If you haven't seen Atlantis or Treasure Planet, go watch them. And Meet the
will, I
Robinsons.
will.
Go watch that movie too. That's a
I
great
love
movie
Meet the
too.
Robinsons. That was such
So
a good
good.
movie.
So good. Well, I think that's where our conversation is going to end for now. I think if we could get a quick recap, I'd love to hear where Gavin and AJ fall on this,
Yeah.
argument as well. So I'd love to hear their lists, in an upcoming episode. And same goes for all of you guys. Let's start a conversation on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, and just let us know where you guys stand. Who would you make the next 3 Disney princesses? Or if you agree or disagree with anything that we said and why, just, leave us a message. Let's start a conversation about this, and let's see if we can determine who the next 3 should actually be.
Oh, that'd be cool. Imagine we take, like, the tallies, and then we figure out from there, like, have a vote.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You hear that, Gavin?
And-
I think we need a bracket.
Yeah. Oh, dude, seriously. A princess bracket. And then, because Disney listens, I'll just text Bobby and be like, dude, listen to 207. We're going to give you your next cash cow. But you got to treat her like one.
Real quick though, if you could put the honorable mention, that the 3 we were just talking about, if they were considered Disney princesses, where would you rank them against your top 3 of the official Disney princesses? Would it change?
Ooh, good
Oh,
question.
that would change.
Because Moana and Mulan would be like my 1 and 2.
Oh,
And
yeah.
honestly, I would probably put Moana over Mulan.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, she does. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, it's a tough one. I mean, you can't go wrong with whichever one you pick, but that's.
Oh, I'm sure somebody will say that you can.
Like, I'll stick to my Pacific Islander, and I'll say Moana.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great conversation. Again, I'd love to hear what everybody else has to say. Hopefully we get a list from Gavin and AJ in an upcoming episode as well. So leave us a comment, and we'll leave the conversation there until we can revisit it again. So,
Yeah.
All right, guys. Anything else that you guys want to mention before we close up this episode?
Yes, send us those questions. I want to do that
Yes.
Q&A pod. That would be a great one.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I think it will be fun too. Yeah, again, if you guys want to send us any questions for that episode, we don't know when it's going to be. We just want to make sure that we have a good amount of questions to answer in the episode. But again, you can send an email to comments@podketeers.com. Leave us a comment on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And if you don't want everybody to see it, just send us a DM. We'll get it. Don't worry, we'll see it, and then we can just pull it and then put it in our document so we have the question ready to go. Yeah, I think that's going to be a fun episode. But if there's nothing else, before we close up shop, I just want to remind you guys that Podketeers is brought to you by listeners just like you. We like to call those listeners our podcast Fairy Godparents, but they like to call themselves the FGP Squad. And if you would like a little more information on how you can become a member of the FGP Squad, head on over to podketeers.com/FGP. And if you make a minimum contribution of at least $5 a month, you will also get the exclusive Fairy Godparent button as a thank you for your support. If you shop on Amazon, another great way to help us out is by starting that next purchase by going to podketeers.com/Amazon. On that page, you're going to find a big Amazon button, which I thought about making smaller, but at this point, so many episodes talk about how big that button is that it would just be foolish of me to change the size of that button. So it's a big Amazon button.
You should
Click
make it
on
bigger.
it. I should make it bigger, right? Make it the whole page.
The whole screen. There you go.
Click on the button, and it'll take you to Amazon using our special link. And anything that you buy may earn us a small commission as a thank you for your support. It takes a few extra clicks, but the few extra pennies at the end of the month definitely help us out with podcasting fees and all that other good stuff. So to everyone that's using the link, thank you guys. We really appreciate that added support as well. If you guys want to find us, just search for Podketeers. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube, youtube.com/Podketeers. Make sure that you also subscribe to the Disney for Two YouTube channel at youtube.com/Disney for Two. Hit the like button on some of those videos, share them with your friends, hit that bell icon for notifications. If you guys are trying to find our personal social links, you can head on over to podketeers.com/team. There you will find a little bit of info on us, like our favorite characters, all of our personal websites, Etsy shops, everything. Just head on over, learn a little bit about us, and tell us if we match up with any of your favorite characters. And that's it, guys. It is beer time for me. You guys don't know, but you thought I forgot. I've been counting down. It's beer time for me. And dinner time, technically. But
I really want to try that beer.
oh, it's so good. And if it is truly the last one, oh, geez, I have to buy more. Oh,
That's
no.
fine.
Oh, no. I gotta get more. Drink responsibly, kids. 21 and over. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Until next week, here is to beers, cheers, and Mickey ears. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Farewell.